Hi guys, so today we're doing an updated portfolio. I'm going into my third year of university this year, and that means that I have a whole year of art. Why don't we just get started? Basically, just to introduce, in case you're new to the channel, I'm going into my third year of university and I'm a visual arts student. I took a lot of art courses this year. None of them were at school, so I did all my projects and stuff at home. So I found this clip from early spring when I really had to start getting creative, and I just would use my garage basically as my art studio sometimes when I had like really messy projects. Sometimes I also had to paint in the winter when it was freezing cold and I'd literally be wearing gloves. You know what? I should turn my cute lights on. Hold it. I am pretty much like a still life girl. I love still lifes. And I took a drawing course this year and we had to do a couple of still lifes. And the first one that we did was with charcoal. I had to actually take this photograph. I can see if I can find it. My objective was that I really wanted to use kitchen utensils. The critique that I got on this was that it's really like high contrast. There's a big difference between the lights and the shadows, the highlights and the shadows. See, there's like this very extreme black, which was basically me just like really just coloring with charcoal, and then like these very light highlights, which I literally would erase the charcoal to make these really light highlights. I'm gonna get charcoal all over my hands. So the next still life that I did in that class was a monochrome still life, or a monochromatic still life, which basically means it's only one color. So we were allowed to choose one color and we could use any analogous colors on the color wheel from that color. So I chose blue. Analogous colors are like the colors that are beside. So I could use we were allowed to use the analogous colors, but I chose not to. I just wanted to stick with the blue, just complete blue. We were also allowed to use black and white, and I did mine in pastel because I love pastel, and I've done several still lifes in pastel, and I can insert the pictures of those. So I did both of those in grade 12. And this was the second still life that I did. So this one is a monochrome still life. I did completely in blue pastel. Also a picture that I took. I'll try to find the picture and insert it. I don't know if I deleted them or not. For this one, we actually had to take a I forget what it's called. It's like a rule in art, and it's called the rule of thirds, and I think it's actually more used in photography. I really wanted to focus on foreground, middle ground, and background. So the foreground is obviously the books and the mug. That's like what's right at the front, what appears right at the front. Then the middle ground is this tablecloth, background is this. The rule of thirds is basically dividing the piece into thirds. So you have thirds down the like vertically and then thirds horizontally. This one, the thirds are where the books are. I've been working out though, look. Guns. Wait. See that? Ready? See those guns? Vertically, the thirds are kind of going like with the shelf, or with the drawers, the lines in the drawers. Okay, so those were my two still lifes, and then after I have pastel on my hands now. Then in another class, also a drawing class, I had to do a self-portrait unit, or like it was 3 self-portraits was the project. It wasn't like one over the course of like one each project. One of the projects was doing 3 self-portraits, and I actually had a hard time coming up with the theme for my self-portraits. What I did was kind of like my age and how like I started out as a little kid. Well, everybody's so. The first picture that I did, I took it apart because it was just a collage and it was just taking up so much room in my room. That one was showing how as a child I was very heavily influenced by social media. I'm a Gen Z, and I was trying to show how social media kind of had a negative impact on my self-esteem and confidence as a child. For example, when I was a kid, and also Barbies and like magazines and TV shows and movies and everything where there was like the blonde, like skinny, like, you know, I was always jealous of like the blonde girls, and I wanted to be blonde so bad that every time our teachers or whatever, whenever I had a project of like, draw yourself or whatever, I would draw a blonde girl. I'm a brunette, clearly. I had like Regina George and Barbie. I forgot to do fake freckles. The second one I did was me kind of like in my teenagehood. I was just showing like how magazines were always kind of depicting like the same like girl. This is what I did. Oh god, it looks so bad. It looks really bad actually. I think I just didn't blend it very well. It kind of looks way better in person though, like for some reason. Like look at that, it's actually kind of nice. I think also, what is that in the head? Like why is this in the forehead? This is gross and weird. Anyways, this is what I did. I basically got a bunch of cutouts from Pinterest of like old magazines from like early 2000s, 90s. And it's just showing like how it's constantly the same type of girl. Skinny white girl, you know? Over here, it's like the jeans that are gonna fit you and make you look skinny, right? It's like they're already trying to condition women, girls, young girls. They're already trying to like suck us in. They're trying to suck us in to the cycle of having self-confidence issues and then buying into all their products, right? Buying their jeans so we can look skinnier, buying their fit tees, buying their whatevers to make us more beautiful in the eyes of the Western world. The third one that I did was more about my like body confidence stuff. That one I did a self-portrait of me now, and I will go get it, and I have it in a frame because I love it. I called this piece Partition. Well, it's in a frame, and then there's the glass, and the glass goes over me, and what's painted on top of the glass? These bodies, because it's like I'm living through a filter of like everything I see has to do with like body stuff. Everything I look at is about body image. Instagram, I mean all social media stuff and whatever, even on TV there's stuff. Like in mirrors around my house when I see myself, you know? Stuff like that, and it's like, you can never really get it out of your head. That bus ruined a vulnerable moment. Okay, the next one is a bit really intense, and we basically had to use text and image to create a piece. So I wanted to go in the consent direction, and I will put a trigger warning here. I'm talking about consent. It's not gonna be anything like crazy, but just in case, I'll insert the timestamp of when I'm finished talking about this piece. Basically like a poster, pretty much. The text is a little, I hate, I don't like it. Like the fonts and stuff, not a fan. Teach her modesty, which is kind of like what I had to deal with in school. I've been to Catholic schools all my life, and it was always dress code. Like, I remember being on my grade 8 grad trip, and I had the cutest dress, and I looked so adorable. And it was straps, spaghetti straps. And my teacher was like, you're not leaving like that. So I had to put on a huge chunky sweater that covered the entire dress. This is the society we live in. They would rather teach girls modesty, then teach boys consent. Right? So teach everyone consent, not even just boys. I did the girl obviously covering up, and her eyes are staring at the viewer because she's confronting the viewer. It's supposed to be uncomfortable to look at her. She's making eye contact with you because she has to be alert. She has to be aware of her surroundings constantly because that is the world that we live in for girls. And the boy, he's not that covered up. He really doesn't care. He's kind of just looking off in the distance because he's like, I don't really have to. I don't. Like, it's not, I don't. Like, and the girl's like covering herself up. And even though she's all covered up, she still feels threatened. We had to do like a kind of plan of our room. It had to be very like geometric and like mathematical, but we were working on perspective. So I did my room. Is that not weird? This is so trippy. Look, that's that. Look, my easel's even still there. Weird. My mirror. Weird. Chair. The shading could have used a little bit of work, but we're not going to talk about it. Next. Where's my sketchbook? I actually need to show you my sketchbook for this. This is my watercolor sketchbook. I painted my dad's only giant paperclip thing pink. Everybody needs pink in their lives. Like, what? Next, cartooning. This was one of my favorite classes. It was so fun and cute, and I loved making cartoons. It was literally the funnest thing ever. Funnest? I don't know. Our first project was creating, like, cartoons. So I made this little girl. Isn't she so cute? She's supposed to be, mine are all, like, superheroes. She's young, she's fun. She has anger management problems. Her hair is like fire. When she's angry, look, it does that. Isn't that cool? Yes, she is inspired by Merida. And your question? She's meant to be like a little Viking girl. Her little action shot. Next is this queen. She has like lightning powers. And she's so pretty. She's like a fairy. But yeah, she's like a... Her power is like telekinesis. Next is him. And he is Gazelle Boy. Yes, I really did name him that. It's something with a museum and a gazelle, magical gazelle horn thing. And he turned into a gazelle. But he was inspired by Douglas Booth. Sorry. This is like them in their little scenario. She's just like coming out of like the bakery and eating. And then she's fighting because she's cool. She's like electrocuting his eye. And he's running away. He's a little scared, but that's okay. He's new to superheroism. You know, he wasn't born into it like the girlies. And then she's like lassoing him back with her superpower stuff. We also had to create a world. We have to make a map and then create like a little mini comic book. This is the map. It's so mystical. So this is the division of labor, and this is the division of the throne. This is like the rich side, and this is like the impoverished side that's, you know, been left by the monarchy. But this spot was really overpopulated, and then this spot is like not as populated, but it's so much bigger. They have more land, resources, everything, and they don't even need it. Hunger Games vibes. From this emerged my comic book that I made. I did actually throw out all of it, except for this one page, so you can see kind of the vibe. So this is what my little main girlies look like, my main characters. She has blue hair, which is pretty cool. And she basically saves her from being imprisoned by the royals who take her. It was kind of like a Handmaid's Tale type beat, except not as intense. So then for another class, it was an abstract painting class. One of the things we had to do, I will try to find a picture of it and just put it right here. It would have been an installation piece, realistically, if it was in a gallery, which means that it wouldn't just be like a picture frame. it was a mirror, and you are supposed to see yourself in the mirror and be confronted by the sad ocean eyes of the ocean. Behind you, once you line up perfectly, you'll notice that the art exhibit behind you on the wall on the other side of the gallery actually lines up perfectly with the mirror, and that's where all those like cleaning products come in. You're really just supposed to like confront yourself. This was the other project that I did in my abstract class. Basically what we had to do was take a picture wherever there's like very geometric shapes and kind of like take it at a weird angle, like change the perspective that you would normally see it in, and then create something like this. This is like where the wall is. No, wait. This is my dresser. See, I'm even confused. I don't know. All these marks are light that was coming in from the window. So my focal point, I decided, would be this right here. Everything kind of is pointing towards the focal point. You can see all these lines are pointing at the focal point. I even painted this little detail at the bottom so that your eyes can't really fall off of the focal point. And then we have these little edge pieces, also just to keep your eyes kind of going around in a loop rather than falling off the edges. So that's pretty much all of the art that I did this year. I'm sure I had some other things, but nothing major enough to show in the video. But yeah, so look forward to next year's updated portfolio. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will be posting as much as I can before the school year starts, and hopefully even during the school year. But yeah, I will see you in the next video.